Greetings, I would like to show you my recent game where I played German Gambit, variation of the Italian opening. So I play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. And my opponent applied c5, accepting the Italian opening. So now I play a calm move, castle. Suggestion the black counter attack. No, I'm actually not counter attack, but an aggressive knight f6 attacking my pawn e4. And here, instead of protecting the pawn, I play d4. So the idea of this move is to attack an initiative of white in exchange of the pawn. So the right move here would be bishop d4, and after exchange I can play bishop g5. Suggestion some trap variations after, for instance, g5, and I play here f4. This is a famous trap variation, and this is what I actually want to play every time. However, my opponent took the pawn with a pawn, and here white has a strong attack, e5. The right variation, which leads to equal game in the end, would be d5. So take, then it could be check, for instance, and bishop protect, then attack the bishop, protect, take the bishop, and here you have there are many variations. Queen can take the bishop, or king can take the bishop. However, my opponent didn't do that, so he made a mistake. Knight g4 is actually okay for the beginners, but after bishop f4, black has very difficult position. So right now they can play d5, and in this case I will try to get advantage. So bishop take and check. So bishop needs to protect the king, and after that, after h3, knight f6. So I can play c3 or bishop b5. Okay, maybe let's try bishop b5. So castle. Oh, castle, take the bishop, take after trading bishop to the knight, I will take the knight. And basically here white has some advantage in this position. However, black needs to play correctly this game, and so actually black choose the move which maybe even better, but at least speaking of the ideas of Italian opening, in this sense, this move better because black protects the king. However, in after h3, so knight h6, black actually have a double pawn, and position of white is somewhat better. However, in this game, after I played h3, black played d5, and this already in this case it's a serious mistake, because after I take the pawn, he can play bishop e6, or he can play bishop e6. I take another pawn, queen d7. I can play queen d3. So, but my position is already better. I have an extra pawn, and my pawn is has a chance to get to the queen, and instead of Okay, in exchange of this pawn on c7, I can take the pawn d4. However, after that, after I take the bishop, my opponent made another mistake, playing knight f6, and I take another pawn. And right now, we have a situation when the queen moved to d7 and blocking the bishop. So now I play correctly c3. He moved the bishop on d6. I take the pawn. He captured my pawn, and I have already serious advantage here, essential advantage at least. However, I made a mistake. I played bishop g5. Okay, right now, the engine said that it's actually the best move. But it's not not exactly right. This is the best would be to take the bishop on c7. So knight e4, knight return to e3. I decided not to play to c1 because I prefer to play e3. And rook e8 is a mistake because after knight c3, my advantage only increase because I still have an idea to attack the pawn. After I don't know, some move, I want to attack pawn f7. However, so instead of taking my knight, which is correct move, so the black played queen f5, and this is a mistake because if I took immediately the knight, he couldn't take with a queen because in this case I attacked pawn f7. But I was afraid here double bishops, so c8, c7, which they look to my king castle. And I was afraid of such perturbations. I decided to exchange the knight to get a better position stable position of the pawns in the center. And this is why I played bishop d3. So it's definitely a mistake, otherwise my position would be essentially good. So he took the pawn. Yeah, and if I take, actually, he needs to play with the rook, then I win the rook for the bishop. But again, as I said, I was afraid two bishops, they are very strong on the king side. Therefore, I prefer to have more stable position in the center to be able to protect the king side after that. So he took my knight. I take with the because I cannot take the queen because he will take my queen. So I recaptured with a bishop or with a pawn. He moved f6, which is right move. Now I played c4. The best maybe was to play bishop g5 or rook e1. But my idea was to attack the knight and then push my pawns to attack the bishops as soon as possible. He played h6. I played rook b1. So the idea is to prevent his bishop to develop anywhere. In that case, I would take the pawn b7. My opponent decided, so the engine suggests b6, but my opponent played a5. So his idea was to move the knight to b4, and to prevent that, I played rook b5. Actually, this is a good move because my rook will potentially participate in attack to the black king, because actually I planned this attack. So right now I can play bishop in case of knight b4, which was played in the game. I play bishop b1, and this is a great move according to the engine. So now he played b6, I play a3, kick the knight back because I want to move my pawn and force the knight to move further and further. So after knight c3, I played queen d3, g6, only move which black can play. So now I can take the pawn, but I made a mistake here. I played queen d2, so my opponent could take the pawn immediately, and so the position becomes, I still have advantage, but I need to think what to do with the knight. Move the knight from f3, or okay, the engine suggests c5, take. So to attack the knight, he played yeah. So my opponent nevertheless overlooked this move, and he played h5, which was actually a mistake. So now I played bishop g5, queen d6. I also played bishop h4. So the idea of this bishop h4, I want to move the queen to h6. I don't know, whatever he plays, I move the queen to h6, and then my second idea to attack the pawn on h4. Yes, the engine suggests that here right now I cannot play queen h6 right now, but I could play rook d1 before that. Okay, so he attacked my rook, and yeah, actually I could also play rook d5. So, and in this position, the best way was to protect like queen f8, but still I have strong attack. I can take the pawn. If he takes the pawn, I can play bishop f6 and basically win the game. Take, and I already have advantage. He needs to protect. I can check. He checks. I check. And here, actually now I can play queen g5 and win the game. So therefore, this rook h5 would be the best. However, in this position, after rook d5, black played rook e6, and I played queen h6. So I finally achieved my goal, and now the opponent, okay, the engine suggests to play bishop sacrifice the bishop to f4, and I would win the game for sure, or I can play knight g5. He takes, I take with the rook, and in any case, my position is much better. So I can play d5. He takes, I take the pawn, and with a further checkmate. So here, the black already lost. Okay, so after queen h6, actually black took the pawn, and he just overlooked the fact that I can sacrifice the rook for the pawn, because in this case it will be immediate check. But otherwise, right now in this position, the checkmate is unavoidable. So just 5 moves to the checkmate, but mostly black plays this move to delay the checkmate, not to avoid it. So it could be rook or bishop check, or okay, knight protects. So then maybe queen f5 or f5, for instance. Then check. He moves, check again, and it's a checkmate. Okay, I hope you like this game, and I hope you like this combination. So I repeat it. Again. So in this position, he attacked my bishop or rook. I attacked the queen. Queen moved, and I moved my queen to h6 with a checkmate attack. And after he made second mistake, I just sacrificed the rook for the pawn and win the game automatically. Thank you very much for the video. See you next time. Bye bye.